Hello everyone, welcome back to my blog, The Unfiltered Female Site Manager. Today I thought I would discuss the 8 categories that I got on my website. When I was working on site, I used to always ensure that health and safety was exactly how it needed to be, quality control was on point. I've never really understood why the smaller construction companies don't operate like the big boys. With my business, Transparency Construction, I want to do everything that I learned on site. I can't see why you shouldn't be running a smaller business like that. It protects everyone. It protects the operatives. It protects me. It protects the people you're doing the work for. It is hard work. There is a lot of stuff to do, but there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing it. So yeah, in this video, I'm going to go into my 8 sections in a little bit more detail about what I intend to do in each section and what you'll be able to find in each category. So I hope this is going to be useful for everyone. We recently completed a self-build garden room in our garden. We call it the Foxton Inn. It's a pub. We're in there most Friday, Saturday nights, and during the week we've got a pool table in there, dartboard, a 75-inch telly on the wall, a fridge full of beers. It's beautiful, like you can't not love it. But what I want to detail in this section is how I got the planning permission, how I designed it, the materials I used, how we pulled it together, how we built it. The only thing about when we did build it is that I would have, now I look back and like the silly little debates that we had as it was being built was, you know, just something I wouldn't want to do again. And I would like to share my lessons learned with everyone watching this blog to be able to ensure that they didn't make the same, you know, they could learn the same lessons before they make the same mistakes, basically. But yeah, very proud of it. It is a beautiful thing, and such an amazing space to have in your garden. I think the most important thing is we didn't go for permitted development, and I got planning permission. Planning permission was the best thing I ever did, and I will share how I got planning permission, including all of my drawings, how I did it. Yeah, I do. Planning isn't as scary as it should be, or as it's been made out to be, I believe. This section, loft conversion or extension. The main reason I started the business, Transparency Construction, was because at the start of the year, I had, I think, 3 or 4 builders come in the house and say that to convert the loft would be around 70 to 80 grand. And to do the extension I want to do, 150 to 200 grand. I'm like, okay, whatever. Sorry, really just couldn't believe it. So I did price it up. I did price up the two options. The first option is what Dave wants to do. We have a really, really beautiful crown roof. The room that I actually do these videos in, we could put our stairs and go straight up into the loft. Really simple, lovely suite up there, nice bathroom, potentially 4th bedroom, which, you know, will be my walk-in wardrobe because I'm not doing an extension without having a walk-in wardrobe, and a nice ensuite. But the problem with doing the suite in my eyes is if we did try to sell the house as a 4-bedroom then and we had to get rid of the walk-in wardrobe to sell it as a 4-bed, you couldn't actually get a wardrobe in the master bedroom. So I don't like it. I think it's awful. But what I do want to do is there's new rules under permitted development where you could take the roof off. You could add exactly the same story on top, put the same design roof back on, and it's classed as permitted development. Is it going to be a permitted development? No. Am I going to learn the hard way and end up having to do a full planning application? I'm not sure, but I'm very, very excited about this. Like I say, we started planning it at the start of the year. It tumbleweed into me starting my own construction business and then doing this vlog. So yeah, if I can do it for 50 grand, which I do think is about 50 grand, well actually I've quoted it for 55 to do it in block work, 45 to do it in timber, and if we did the suite where we just converted the loft, about 30 grand. So yeah, putting my stake in the ground, I'm quite happy to go with those prices. Could I be wrong? Yeah, but I'm not going to be 100 grand wrong. So we'll see what happens. Please stay posted to see what happens in this bit. This is the most exciting part for me of this vlog. The next section is pre-construction. So how to plan efficiently and budget. So what's the point if you start a job and then a builder comes in, they've given you a quote, but not everything is detailed in the quote, not the sequence of work, not the program, not all the materials, and they start the job for you and you go, oh no, that's an extra. What do you mean it's an extra? I told you what I wanted. They went, no, you didn't. We agreed this. But maybe it was all verbal. You know, maybe you didn't get it in writing. Maybe you didn't put it in writing to them, or you didn't have an exact thing in writing from them again. So pre-construction and planning is my baby. Like, so we have 2 projects coming up that we're about to start. And again, I'm just going to share the journey from start to finish, exactly how I planned it, exactly how I'm going to go ahead with it, and then what I would technically charge someone to do it as well. Because again, the whole reason for doing this business is that I do think I could beat my competitors on price. Whether I do or not, I'm not sure. But that will come with experience. So yeah, pre-construction, the most important thing, like I say, I think that a lot of people get a job started and then they're in the job and the builder will say, no, I didn't price for that, that's an extra. So if you don't plan the whole job and know everything that's going to happen on that job, how do you know what an extra is and what isn't an extra? Pre-construction and planning is the most important thing before you start any build project. And another thing, just because you get a builder that comes in and goes, oh, I've been doing it 30 years, fantastic, great, okay, I'm going to take that wall down for you. All right, mate, lovely, thank you. But then they take the wall down and then your kitchen ceiling falls down. So just because the builder's been doing it 30 years, how did they prove to you that they were competent? This is the biggest thing coming up in the industry right now. How does anyone prove that they have competence? Because even the world of cowboy builders has got even easier now, because you can go online, you can look at someone else's work and you can just copy and paste and go, look at all the work I've done. Did you do it? How are we going to prove this? How is it actually going to get proved that people say that they did what they say they're going to do? Because the world's not that honest, I believe. So we're in a bit of a tricky situation. I would always go to a building control company or a structural engineer. Those are the people who will, actually genuinely have your back. If you've got a builder coming in saying they want to do some work for you, they just technically want to get the work. They're not necessarily worried about the repercussions if something goes wrong. Couldn't stress the importance of making sure that people are competent in the pre-construction phase, but we have all of these details in that section of the blog. Health and safety's gone mad, apparently. So I have always have and always will respectfully disagree with that statement. Health and safety's only gone mad if you don't actually plan a job to know what health and safety you need to be able to speed up the job. Health and safety becomes a problem when you haven't planned the job out and then you need to find something that's health and safety to get the job done because someone said they need it. But if you planned it properly and you had it in place, the operatives would be able to get on safer and faster because it's there ready for them. There's a lot of best practices that I'm going to highlight around health and safety, particularly my favourite thing, which is RAMs. I love RAMs, I'm a bit of a sado, but I think they are operatives insurance policy. They will protect me as a business. I couldn't begin to stress how important RAMs are enough, but I'll be doing a full document on that. CDM regulations and how they actually affect domestic clients. What is everything that's going on with the Build Safety Act? How much do subcontractors know about the Build Safety Act? Do they know that it actually affects everything now? The changes are quite new, I believe, on this legislation with the Build Safety Act. Although the Build Safety Act's been around since 2022, it was quite a direct area that they were focusing on, but that's changed. It's really changed. So we just need to be, the attitude of health and safety's gone mad is incorrect in my eyes. No one wants to make the dreaded phone call at the end of the day and say, I'm really sorry, but they're not coming home. I don't think health and safety's gone mad. I go through London and I look at those beautiful buildings, or I look at Big Ben, all right? And you look at Big Ben, you go, wow, beautiful. But how many people died building that? No one dies anymore. It's a good thing. It's a good thing health and safety's gone mad. I know that the culture in the industry is that, it's a big culture where it's like, it has gone mad. They're looking after you. That's that. They're making sure you go home to your family every day. What is that problem? Anyway, health and safety, big section on that. Quality control. How do we control quality on site? The most important thing, again, planning out your build, and then you shouldn't wait to the end of the job and go, oh, here you go, pay someone. Especially if, say someone's giving you a program of works and they've got 8 weeks. They can't wait to the end of the job to be paid, yeah? There should be hold points. There should be bits that you get signed off, especially if you've got building control in. They naturally come in the hold points. But quality control would be, you get into the end of the job and someone says, right, I want paying. If they don't snag it, you snag it, you look at it. If you're not happy with it, say even you just had a decorator come in and they've decorated your wall, but they've left snots all over it, or there's still holes in it, didn't fit it properly, and there's runs running down everything. That's not acceptable. Don't pay them. So in this section for quality control, I'm going to teach you everything that I know about quality, from all build stages, everything that I could sort of implement, what you need to look for. Bottom line on this is just don't pay them at the end. If you can withhold any money, if you think something is slightly wrong, just trust your gut. Don't do it. Don't pay them. I paid someone the last little bit of money on my job, which was only £1,000, where they were begging me for it. I mean, begging at the end. And I'm going, I don't want to pay you this. I don't want to pay you. I don't want to pay him. I don't want to pay. I paid him. And then I ended up taking him to court and trying to get some money back. But I could have kept that little bit of money and it would have helped me out a little bit. So I should have trusted my gut. I say, bottom line, trust your gut. That's all I'm asking, all I'm saying. Subcontractors and builders. So I just touched on my slightly emotional journey with a previous builder, which, you know, I can't stress enough the importance of just slowing down, looking at the builders, looking at their references, looking at Google reviews, but don't trust Google reviews because you can buy them. So look at this builder, you want some work to be done, but you know, they've got these testimonials, they've got this great portfolio, but again, did they steal the work? You know, are the testimonials genuine? I can't, if you want to go and pay someone 100 grand to do a loft extension, make sure they give you the quote for it, because they might come in and they go, oh no, we didn't, I just said I would do the dormer. Like we use the dormer, for example. I just said I would do the carpentry on the dormer. I'm not a roofer. I'm not going to do your tiling. I'm not going to do your flat roof. You know, these are the types of things that if you don't slow down and stop getting blinded by excitement because someone's giving you a good price. Oh, brilliant. Okay, I can get it done. Can you get it done? Can you get it done? Is it worth the risk of them turning around to you and saying, no, that's extra, and then you've got your roof ripped off or a big hole in it and you're not watertight and then it leaks? And there's so many things around subcontractors and builders. I've got a lot of articles to write about them. Like I say, personal experiences recently, especially with subcontractors who have fake Google reviews. They've bought them. Be careful, really careful. It's a huge decision. If you're parting with lots and lots of money, just slow down and make sure you pick the right contractor. Paying cheap, sometimes you pay twice. But even then, sometimes you'll pay a lot and you'll pay twice. So just be careful and do your research. Lessons learned. There's a whole section on lessons learned. So today, Dave's come home and he is working on fixing the damp outside of our house. One of the key things that I wanted the landscaper to do when he did the garden, which was actually impossible in fairness, was to make sure that the ground level was 150 mil below our damp course. It was impossible to do, and now we have a damp problem in our utility. We refurbished it, beautiful, lovely, put some waterproof flooring in there that was actually waterproof. And when I tried to claim on the guarantee, because I tried to claim on guarantees, because it's all blown in one corner, basically what it is we've got a drip on our hose pipe that's just dripping down. We've also got a down pipe that doesn't go into anywhere. We've compromised our damp. We had a leaking lead pipe, which is from a water main. It's blown the whole floor, like it's destroyed. So lesson learned here is, we wasted a lot of money on flooring, and I don't want people to make the same mistake because we compromised our damp. So we're working on fixing it, but we'll never truly be able to fix it. That's the lesson learned. And the real lesson learned is that we shouldn't have actually refurbished our utility. We should have knocked it down and built it properly, because we're always going to have damp problems. We're never going to be able to get over it, I don't think. So yeah, big lesson learned there. So many lessons learned over my career, over the 8 years that I was on site. I would say that, like I say, I have this little list in my phone that I just keep adding to. You know, I have lots of lessons that I learned when we built the pub. I just write them down because, again, just want to share them so people don't make the same mistakes. We also have a whole section on home improvement. We bought our house back in 2020 in the height of COVID, and as much as it was beautiful and we could move in and there was, you know, every single room needed doing, the garden needed doing, it was full of trees. We obviously work really hard, save up a little bit of money, and then go, all right, we can do that next, so we can do that next. So the next projects that we're actually doing, we have no storage in our garden. We've got a great garage, but it's just full of stuff. So we're going to build a shed with a concrete base, because the timber base is rot, and there's no point putting in a timber base externally because it's going to rot and you're going to need to build a new one. So we're going to put in a concrete base to build a shed. We're also going to redo our bathroom ourselves. We had one quote come in for the bathroom at £7,000. And I don't understand how it's £7,000 when you're replacing it like for like. You're putting the shower back where it is, the bath back where it is. I do actually want to move the toilet and the sink, but that's not a big deal. The waste is still going to be where it needs to be. So yeah, there are 2 projects and then a couple of windows. So again, but pricing all of these up, the most important thing, like Dave, if he could start building it, he'd be building the shed today. You know, he'd be out there, but like, I'll get the materials, I'm just going to build it. But then that's when you You know, we might start it, we might not be able to afford to build it. So there's no point starting something if you don't, you'll never get it 100% either. Like, I'll always make mistakes, I'm not perfect. But at least if you have a plan, nothing ever goes to plan. But you can try, you know, at least if you have a plan, then it doesn't go to plan, you can see where you missed out on the plan, and that's the whole point. So yeah, for me to put my stake in the ground, it's even good for me to do these little projects. So when I do the big extension, like, what did I miss? If I missed anything. There's so many other little home improvements that we've made. Like I say, I touched on damp issues in the last section, but we have a major damp issue down the whole side of our house. We might have improved it, but it's not how you actually improve damp in houses. And yeah, don't know whether it's actually going to improve it. So yeah, lots of home improvement stuff. Really, really excited about that. I'm so excited about this project. I am currently doing these videos working around my full-time job, my 2 babies, my home to run, my 3rd baby, which is my husband. And yeah, I have over 120 articles in my phone that are ready to go, that I go out on a walk and I get my phone up and I transcribe all of the articles, and then I go home and I edit them, and then I come and do these videos. So it's quite a lot of work for me to do this around all of my original commitments. But I am excited about it. I couldn't feel more passionate about the fact that I genuinely think I'm going to help people. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think I was going to help people. I really, really do. That's the only goal for this, is to be able to help people. And I love talking about building. It makes me happy. So yeah, the important thing here is just to be able to plan everything. Let's be a bit smarter when it comes to planning, a bit smarter when it comes to building and budgeting. Make sure we pick the right contractors. I have gone into detail in this video about all of the categories in my blog. Like I say, there's 120 articles that I've originally tapped out, are all going to be separated and maybe doubled up into some categories. But yeah, there's 8 categories are the whole reason, are the main sections of my blog. I really hope this is going to be useful for some people. Thank you.